I've been asked the question many times. How come that within the Chabad Lubavitch community they have pictures of the Rebbe just about all over? In their home, in just about in every room. In their car, in their office, even in the baby's strollers. And the usual remark is, don't you guys exaggerate? So before I explain to you the exaggeration, let's first say a non-exaggerated thank you to Hashem. Chapter 100 in Tehillim. Mizmor l'soy doir v'doir emunasoy. And some tzedakah, my dear friends. For the safety, security of our soldiers, of the hostages, and should all come home, and let's all come home. So we learned in the parsha of last week, Yosef has been sold into slavery, ended up in Egypt, bought as a servant, a slave, who became the manager of the minister Potiphar. Potiphar's wife is infatuated with Yosef, and she constantly nags him with her overtures for him to be inappropriate with her. He refuses, gives her all kinds of logical explanations. It's inappropriate, it's forbidden, it's not right for your husband. How can I do something like this? But the pasuk says, one day, one day, and Rashi explains there was a special holiday where nobody was home, and Yosef came to the house. Actually, according to one interpretation, he was going to give in. He couldn't take it anymore, and he realized that his life is in danger. Because you don't want to get into the bad side of the minister's wife. She's capable of doing anything, as we see later on in the story. So afraid for his life, it came a point, he says, he can't take it no more. He's just going to, God forbid, do it. But then, says Rashi, he suddenly saw the image of his father. Matter said that suddenly he saw the image of his father, of Yaakov. And this jolted him into reality. No way. And we know the rest of the story. He was thrown into prison. And eventually, as we have in the beginning of the parsha of this week, he becomes viceroy in Egypt. But what we see over here, the power of that vision, the power of that image of seeing his father. So here is a little anecdote. A number of years back, we'd organized billboards with the Rebbe's picture all over town, and actually bus shelters with the message, do a mitzvah, welcome Mashiach. They were all over town. Places there were Jewish people, places there was no Jews at all. One young man, a Shiva Bacher, had a moment of weakness, and he decided he needs a break. Whatever he was going to do. So he decided to take the local Montreal metro to the furthest station away from any Jewish presence. And there he's going to find out what he's going to do. He's walking out of the metro, coming out the steps, and there right in front of him, there's a bus shelter with a big picture of the Rebbe. He got so frightened, he ran back into the metro, came back to the yeshiva, shaking and trembling, to the point that the mashgiach, the person who is there to advise and help the students, saw that this young man is not his usual self, walked over to him. What's going on? He says, no, Baruch Hashem, everything is fine. So there is no exaggeration of having pictures of your Rebbe your tzaddik in the house, because each one of them reminds us how to behave in the dining room, in the office, in the car, in the bedroom, in the kitchen, and so on and so forth. Adults and children. So I have an idea for you. Hanukkah coming up. If you want to buy a nice, interesting, special gift, buy a nice picture from the Rebbe and hang it up prominently in your homes. And may Hashem help us that we should already see the Rebbe physically, how he's taking us out of exile and bringing us into the Beis Hamikdash before Hanukkah still.